Okay, now I believe we are live on the correct video. Hey everyone, sorry about that. We went live, we had our whole spiel going on, and Tim noticed we were on the wrong video. So 2022.
Woo!
Okay. Yay, okay, it looked like it worked that time.
Oh, great, here we are.
Thank goodness. Hi. Okay. Hi, everyone. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for your patience and bearing with us. This is what happens when you take a couple of weeks off.
Someone told us in that other video in the chat, they were like, "Oh, y'all look so well rested." It's like, oof, that brain fog.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you go.
All right. Lightning round introduction this time. I'm Catherine. I'm the communications manager at NaNoWriMo. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. Mariah.
I'm Mariah. I'm one of the co-directors of programs at NaNoWriMo. My pronouns are she, her. Tim.
Hi everyone. My name is Tim Hyojin Kim. I'm another one of the program. The other program director. Wow. And my pronouns are he, him.
And we are super excited to be here with you all again.
For real this time.
For real this time, for our very first virtual write-in of 2022. And I was saying in the other one that this is the first one that Tim and I have done in a while. So we're extra excited to see you all, because it's a little new for us. And if this is new for you, like I saw someone drop into the chat that this was their first time, we can tell you a little bit about what we'll do. So we'll spend an hour together. We get to be a creative community, virtual together, which is exciting, especially if you don't have one in person right now or ever. And we'll do a couple of writing prompts together. You might have a project you're working on right now, and you can use the prompts for that project. You might have no project right now because, you know, maybe you took a break or something like that. And so the prompts will work for you as well. They're just a chance to set aside some time to be creative together. And if you want to say hi, I saw people waving in the chat. You can say hello. You can drop in, you know, where you're joining us from. That's always exciting to see people from all over the world. And I see people already have done that. We've got someone joining us from Japan, which is really cool. Okay. Whew, I lost my breath talking. I'm also out of shape.
Out of virtual write-in shape.
Yeah, out of virtual write-in shape. Tim and Catherine, did you have anything to add about virtual write-ins or about life in general about 2022?
Yeah, let's get writing.
Let's get writing. Okay, so the theme of this virtual write-in is New Year's resolutions. It's kind of a tradition. We've done one. This is the third year we've done a New Year's resolution. Sorry, virtual write-in. I don't know why I took a bite of something right before I started talking. It's truly a terrible idea. And so for our very first prompt, we're going to make it about creativity resolutions. So we're going to write together for 5 minutes, and you're going to write your 2022 creativity resolutions. So what are your writing goals? Why is writing important to you? What other things would you like to try to do to feed your creativity? 5 minutes. These can be specific goals, like I want to revise my novel this many pages, or these can just be things like I'd love to try, you know, a pottery class, etc. We're just spending 5 minutes getting back into the writing habit. I can set a timer.
I have a timer pulled up.
Great,
so.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So 5 minutes for this first prompt, and let's start writing now. got about a minute left. Okay, time is up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. If you want to drop one of the resolutions that you came up with into the chat, or share something there, you're definitely welcome to do that. I don't know if you can hear the people talking in the background of my video. Sorry about that if you can.
And as you're dropping that there, if either of you, Tim or Catherine, wanted to share your resolution, or if you wanted to share, and this goes for you in the chat as well, if you have any advice or any experience that you could gift us with around keeping a creativity resolution or goal, just because I've definitely like set a lot and then like I've kept fewer of them. So yeah, what do you say? For me this year, I'll share mine. I'll go first. I just finished this like third draft or fourth and a half, even like fifth draft of this novel I've been working on for several years. And I really want to like have someone, one of my goals is to like have someone read it all the way through. Like no one's read it yet. And so it's at a point now where it can be shared. So I'm trying to like figure out how to find like, like a beta reader or some people who will, because it's long, like I feel weird asking like my like I feel like I could ask my friends, but then they're not writers, and then I could ask my writer friends, but it's just a lot of work. So that's what I'm trying to do in 2022.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, I finally finished like a first draft last year, and I got to like I really polished the first like 80 pages of it, and so I want to try and get the rest of my first draft kind of up to scratch for the first 80 pages.
I'm trying to work on short stories this year. That's what I decided, because I feel like I remember, Mariah, ages ago you were telling me just like that you had gotten more into short stories and that there was just like a nicer kind of like thing to be able to like start and complete in a time that felt more doable. So I think I want to do that this year. And then in terms of like resolution advice, I saw someone in the chat had a really good, or a transcriber was saying, start with the smallest achievable effort and then build from there, which I feel like that totally makes sense. I've read like things like that too, of like when you're trying to just start a habit or whatever, that you really just like the smallest little thing and then go from there, because if it feels more achievable, you'll do it more regularly. And then there's always the chance that you'll do a little bit more than that smallest thing every day. So I think I'm gonna take that to heart. That was good advice. Thank you, transcriber.
I see someone also in the chat, and I might say it wrong, but CMI Micah says, time is so tight, but start again with 25 minutes per day on one of my several writing projects. I feel like 25 minutes, that's doable, right? Set a timer. Like I think that I'm just taking that to heart as well. I think starting small is so good. I see other people saying like write every day. I think that's a great piece of advice too. Also, I'm glad to see some friends in the chat who are also looking for trying to share their story for the very first time this year, or find someone to share it with, which is really cool.
Pause Film said they have the same air purifier humidifier. My my computer won't let me blur my background, so that's why y'all gotta see my hamper, my air purifier.
I have that same one too. It's a good one.
I like this this resolution from Gina B that says create more physical space to be more creative.
Ooh.
I don't know. I really like that. And you talking about that, Tim, made me think about it because it's like, oh yeah, my little desk square. Like, how can I be more creative in this space?
I did the artist way last year with a group of people, and it was like kind of an interesting experience. It's like 12 weeks to try to kind of access parts of your creativity. And she talks a lot about like designing a space for yourself that's like really wonderful, like what makes you feel creative and comfortable and something special. And I like that because it sometimes feels a little silly because you're like, well, I just need my laptop, really, I can write anywhere. But like there is something magical about like filling a space with the things you love. And so I like that idea too.
It makes me think of one of my favorite pep talks that we have, which is from Daniel Jose Older, and he talks about creating that ritual around writing, which like I keep thinking like I really like that, and then I haven't actually put that into practice. But even just like a couple of things of like, okay, like when I sit down at the computer, I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna take like 3 deep breaths, I'm gonna have this coffee or this tea or whatever. It sounds nice, because I think even the small things of like, but when I used to go to the gym before the pandemic, before Omicron hit, like it's like small stuff that doesn't feel like a ritual, but like getting your duffel bag together and then taking the walk over, like I'm already getting in like the mental headspace of like, cool, I'm gonna spend this next hour exercising or whatever. To like, that sounds really nice to be able to create around a writing ritual too.
Yeah. Lindsay Warner says, is kind of along the same lines, says this is silly. I'm just telling you right now, it's not silly, but they say my goal is to write earlier in the day because I have a bad habit of staying up all night writing. It's more of a go to sleep on time goal. I feel that a lot. I'm definitely a late night writer. So
I also see this comment from Crazy Foxy who says, if the time comes, I want to be brave enough in 2022 to rewrite my current work in progress from page 1, which I love that you identified that it does take a lot of bravery, like, to do that. And editing, someone else later says that editing is a lot harder than writing the first draft. And I love editing. Like, I think I'd much rather revise the drafts than edit something or than write it brand new. But like I rewrote my novel draft that I rewrote it basically from scratch like 3 times. And it was like a huge leap of faith, right? Like you have to be like, I can do this, which you can, because if you wrote a first draft, you can revise like the end, like if you can do that, you can make it better. But then it's scary to also just be like, well, I'm going to take all these words that I wrote and maybe never see them again, but they were a necessary piece of getting from A to B, So
yeah.
thanks for identifying that. It is about bravery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe we should move on to our next prompt so we get a little more writing in. So let's see, do we have time? Yes. So this one is just like a silly activity just to get our brains back in the creative space. So without stopping, for a total of, we started a little late, so I'm trying to, maybe we can do 8 minutes for this one and then 10 minutes for the next one. So we'll do 8 minutes. Without stopping, write a love letter to an unexpected reader. So like your houseplant, or a favorite food, or a favorite day of the week, or like a scent that you want to, like a particular scent that you want to write a love letter to, or whatever. Something that deserves your love that you can like wax on about for 8 minutes. And if you want to, love letter. You could also like, I might have to start out with a list in the beginning to figure out what I want to write to, but I'll get there eventually. Okay, sorry, Catherine.
Oh no, I was just setting my timer for 8 minutes. So writing our stream of consciousness love letters, and let's start writing now.
I'm going to try not to write to my dog because he has enough love letters from me.
Got about a minute left here. Okay, time is up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. Again, if you want to share anything, feel free to drop it in the chat. Sorry, now there's construction going on outside my window. I don't know if you guys can hear that too.
It's
I can
pretty
hear it. Yeah.
I saw a couple of people asking in the chat about whether we could play music and stuff. We do that sometimes when we do like the Zoom events, but for YouTube, like we get hit with like copyright claims. There was one time I tried to do it actually in a virtual write-in. I played some music in the background and used some music as a prompt, and then the whole thing got muted. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
That's all.
I just saw that Dorothy Best said that they were writing about their foot heater. I wrote about my space heater. I was like, I love how your warm breath kisses my cheek in the morning. I really was getting into it. And then someone else said they could only go for so long, and me too. So I wrote about my space heater, and then I wrote about this yellow chair that I really deeply love. It's gotten relegated to this basement room because it's not very comfortable. And now it's just covered in like clothes and stuff. But I deeply love it. I wanted to let it know.
Someone wrote to Betty White. I love that. That's so nice.
I never really do prompts like this, like, because I'm always like, oh, I have to work on my novel. I don't have time for stuff like this. But I had such a fun time doing it. And it was making me remember what it was like to be in elementary school where like little projects, little writing prompts can turn into bigger things or just make you feel like creative in a day when you haven't really felt super creative. So I'm glad you all indulged me and did this on with me. Catherine and Tim, did you do the prompt or did you go rogue?
Yeah, I kind of did it. I started off writing a love letter to love letters. Very meta. And then just kind of went off on a tangent, but it was good. I think Tim might be frozen actually.
I think so too. I thought he was just like deeply delighted by what we were saying.
It is a deeply delighted expression.
Yeah. Lucas Weisman says, I'm a firm believer in the Marie Kondo method of thanking the things you own. This feels like that. My husband read her book and is also very, very into that. And he thanks his things before we get rid of them. It feels good. Like, I know when people say stuff, like, especially this time of year, I feel like people are like, oh, be grateful and, give gratitude and make a gratitude list and all these things. And like the snarky teenager in me is always like, I don't want to do that. But then it was really fun to just like tell some objects how much I love them.
Yeah, that's great. I remember cleaning out the closet at the NaNoWriMo office. We did that where we just stumbled across a lot of weird stuff from NaNoWriMo history that we thanked it. We thanked it for its service.
I remember that too. I see that. Let me see. I just saw one and then I lost it. Oh, Nile Woman wrote an anti-love letter to the critical voice in her head. I told it to be quiet, go to its corner, and don't come out again until it's time to do a rewrite. Yeah, I love that too. An anti-love letter. That would be a fun if you want to like keep doing a couple more love letters. And then if you get tired of it, definitely like do some anti-love letters. Drop some truth bombs.
I feel like that's there's a novel in there somewhere of like kind of like To All the Boys I've loved before, but somehow it's an anti-love letter.
Oh, totally. Oh my God, I love that. To all the people I've ever had beef with.
Enemies to lovers, 50K.
Yeah. I wonder if Tim is gonna pop back in. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think we're just having a little bit of technical difficulties today. It's fine.
I know.
I'm sure he'll show up if he manages to get it working again. So
Well, feel free to keep sharing in the chat what you wrote to or anything else. But also, if you'd like to drop in, earlier we talked about different creativity like resolutions we had. Feel free to also drop in anything that you're doing or want to do that you think will kind of feed your creativity this year. Just because this is a selfish request, but I'd love to I'd love to see what people are doing. Like this could be like music you're going to listen to, or a hobby that you're going to try to pick up. Anything that's like, feeds that creative spirit. Last year I tried what's that called? Embroidery. I tried to do embroidery, and that was fun for a little bit, but turns out it's not for me.
yeah. I have started. I never properly learned another language. Like I took a couple of semesters of different languages in high school or college, but it wasn't really good classes and nothing really ever stuck. And so I like downloaded Duolingo and I'm attempting to learn Spanish. Just,
cool.
you
Qué
know.
bueno.
Hey. So it's a little scary because like I'm not particularly good at picking up other languages, but it's something I've been enjoying and something I've been like meaning to do for a while. So
That's cool. It's cool to be a beginner at things too. Like
I don't feel that way.
Oh no, sorry.
I'm the kind of person that's like, I should be able to do this perfectly the first time. If I don't, that's really awful. So I'm trying to move past that and not give into that.
I like trying things. Like, sounds like this has a little bit of pressure for you, but I like it when you get to, because writing for me has a lot of pressure. Like I'm sure it does for a lot of you out there. And so it's fun to try something that it's like has zero pressure. Like for instance, this silly like love letter thing. I think one reason I have so much fun doing it is because I don't have any, like I don't care if it's good or not, and it doesn't matter. So I think some stuff like someone said, like dance, adult tap, like I would love to try stuff like that where I just can be like, it's not tied to like my identity or anything.
Cool. I love some of the love letter excerpts that people are sharing. Timbo said, "A love letter to the person I can become. The more I believe in my own worth, the deeper the love becomes until the two of us are one." That's really beautiful.
That's cool. I like Danny's stories. Says, "To future houseplant, I will still love you after your flowers drop brown and crunchy onto my floor." I can't tell if that's just because it's a natural cycle of the houseplant, or if you're like anticipating that you're going to kill it, which is what would happen to me.
I feel like that could be the I don't know, people are talking about to your former self too. So it's like even when the petals of my former self have fallen onto the floor, I still love it.
Oh, that's cute. Okay. We have one more prompt, and this one is 10 minutes long, and you can, oops, I just lost it. Where'd it go? There we go. Okay. And this one is in honor of it being the new year. So I had a writing teacher once who said that new beginnings or first times are always kind of dramatically interesting in a story. First times and last times, but we're not going to do last times because it's not the end of the year. So like the first time a character or you saw snow, or the first time, the first kiss, or your first car ride, or anything like that automatically has some like tension or interest in it that is different from like, the 10th time you rode in a car or whatever. So for this next prompt, feel free to keep doing the, love letters if you liked that. But if you'd like to try this new one, write a scene that starts with a character or yourself, if you just like to do more of a diary kind of thing, trying something for the very first time. And you could start it off by saying the first time I, he, she, they, we, blank, you know, the first time they, now my mind is going to a blank. I might do this one about myself. So you can make it fictional. If you're working on a novel, this is great to do just as a little side writing because it helps you learn things about your characters. Even if it doesn't end up in the final draft, like it does help you learn more about your characters. But I might do this one as a little bit of a memoir kind of thing. We'll see. All right.
Oh, is this one going to be 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's do 10 minutes.
Okay. Great. All right, 10 minutes for this third prompt, all about new beginnings. And let's go ahead and start writing now. got about 2 minutes left. Okay, time is up. Go ahead and wrap up what you're writing. Again, if you want to share anything, feel free to drop it in the chat. And Tim's back, yay.
I know I said I wasn't going to write a love letter to my dog, but then I did write about the first time I met my dog because dogs are the best, the end.
Bestseller right there.
I mean, honestly, it's also because he's like sleeping behind me right now on this couch. So it's, it's easy to think about him. And if you, definitely drop into the chat anything that you were writing about, but also just throwing it out there. If like you were writing about a character, that's cool. If you were not writing about a character, or if you were and you just like to share like any memorable kind of like first time moments you had, just in general. I think those are always interesting to learn, to get to know people. So like first time, Catherine, you're like a desert person, right? Like do you remember the first time you saw snow?
Yes, I do. Yeah, because I grew up in Las Vegas and then Alabama, so I was always in places where it didn't get snow. But the first time the first time I was old enough when I could remember when I saw snow, was when I was in second grade, and it like snowed in Las Vegas, but like enough that it like didn't even stick to the ground. But I like built a snowman this high outside of Denny's, and I was just like so ecstatic because that was the only time I'd ever done that. So
That's so cool. My friend who is from Southern California was saying they used to bring snow in like big trucks down from the mountain to their school. And the first time she saw it for real, she didn't realize that snow would hurt, because like she thought it was just going to be
how
pretty.
cold it was.
Yeah, but she was like, it hurt me. I was like, yeah. Because I'm from a very cold place, so I thought that was it. It's just like an interesting way to get to know somebody, like different kind of first times. Yeah. How did the writing prompt go for you? Or, if you don't want to share, don't share.
Ooh, I like this from Jennifer Patterson. It said, the first time my character put on armor that had more technology than she had previously experienced. I love that idea of technological armor.
That's cool. Phyllis says that they didn't see the ocean until I was in college. Decades later, I can still access that wonder and awe of the eternal nature of the waves, the continual soft roar of the surf. That's a cool first time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems very.
Casey Potter wrote about someone dancing salsa for an audience for the first time. Semi-biographical since I dance salsa. Nice.
That's a cool one. I feel like if any first performance is like a really ripe for
Oh yeah.
for writing about for drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss. Nice.
Cool.
Oh, we had a question earlier in the chat from Jamie Wallace that asked, do you run these on a regular basis or just once in a while? So I think Mariah might have mentioned earlier, but we do, when we have like an official NaNoWriMo event going, so in November during National Novel Writing Month, or in April and July when we run Camp NaNoWriMo, we usually do virtual write-ins at least once a week, about once a week. During the times when it is not April, July, or November, they happen a little less often, but still fairly regularly. So this is the first one of this year. We'll probably be doing them, I don't know, about once every 2 to 4 weeks for the next couple of months. But we'll be having other webcasts and stuff as well that will be happening. So there will be lots of cool live events, probably about one a week on YouTube or Zoom. So I'll drop in a link to the official calendar. So if you want to bookmark that tab, you can see all the events and stuff that we've got going on.
Uh-oh, you muted. Or are you?
Oh, who muted?
No, not you, Tim.
Oh no, okay. Our computers are still remembering how to be.
While Tim is unmuting, I just wanted to call out, I really like Squawking About says, the first time my MC found a magic chicken. Like that.
That's great.
I feel like, Tim, what you were going to mention was the regular community virtual write-ins we have.
Oh, it does. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry about that, y'all. My computer crashed and then I had to like put together this other access point. I was gonna say actually that you can also keep up with all of the events if you have an account on the nanowrimo.org website. There's like a little card on your dashboard that says like official HQ events, and there are a bunch there too, so you can keep an eye out for things that are happening.
Yep. I'm also going to drop in the chat a link to basically, we call it a revision pledge. It's basically like, because right now we're sort of focusing on, like, a lot of people wrote the first draft of their novels in November, and maybe now's the time when you want to get back into it and start revising or reworking some of it. I know some of you said that was part of your goal for this year. So I'm going to drop in a link that's basically just a pledge to be like, yeah, I'm going to follow through with that goal. I'm going to revise my novel. And then we've got some great resources for that coming up here in the next couple of months. So we'll send you all of those as soon as we get them ready, if you sign through on that link. So.
And I know it's time and we're going to close out, but just also wanted to congratulate anybody who's speaking of first times. If this was your first time coming to a virtual write-in, I hope you liked it. I hope you got a little writing done. Also, if it was your first time writing with us in November, that's huge too. Thank you for taking that leap. Or if it's your first time thinking about revising a project, like, that's huge too. So just want to celebrate all these firsts because they're big, bold steps.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty impressive too if it's your 10th time doing it.
Oh yeah.
It'll be a big bold step.
So awesome to see everybody. It was really nice to be at a virtual write-in again. Happy New Year, and so excited for a year ahead full of writing and creativity, hopefully.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining, everyone.
See you all next time.
Bye.